On now, Qatar has escalated its response against Iran following the recent strikes, taking a strong diplomatic step. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs has formally declared Iranian military and security attaches persona non grata along with staff linked to those offices and has ordered them to leave the country within 24 hours. This decision was conveyed during a high-level meeting between Qatar's Director of Protocol, Ibrahim Yusuf Fakhro, and the Iranian ambassador to Qatar, Ali Salehabadi. Doha has made it clear that the move comes in response to repeated Iranian targeting and what it calls a blatant violation of its sovereignty and security. Qatar has also stated that these actions breach international law and UN Security Council resolutions, warning that any continuation of such aggression will invite further countermeasures. The government has underlined that it reserves the full right to take all necessary steps to safeguard its sovereignty, security and national interests. Major General, sir, if I could come across to you, sir, the biggest question probably on everybody's mind right now is when will this war exactly end? Do you see this becoming a war of attrition?
Yeah, Meda, like your previous question to me, I had attempted to answer the question. This conflict will remain eternal is a wrong statement to make for lack of expression. But looks like until the leader, that is Donald Trump, changes in America, until some sensible person comes there, until the Jewish lobby, which is predominant in America, which actually forms the main core of deep state of USA, until Netanyahu is changed, this conflict will go on. It will not end because now it is an open secret that whatever is happening, it is happening for greater Israel, and greater Israel will take place. You see, there are people who are toying with the options of the regime change. Now, how can a regime, or this is called a radical Islam regime, okay, theocratic society. People haven't understood the meaning and implication of theocracy. Once they understand, you see, firstly, the structure. The structure is so found. There are layers after layers, checks and balances. They may not be clear. Even Iran also has got a parliament. They have a majlis. They have an assembly of experts, 80 of them. This assembly of experts, they pass the laws, they make laws, they formulate policies. And these laws are further scrutinized by a council of, guardians, council of guardians. They're supposed to check whether every law and every rule being recommended on the name of Supreme Court, Supreme Leader, is it in consonance with the Sharia law or not? Also, they have executive layer, they have a cabinet layer which is called the executive layer. There are lots of checks and balances. This is the vertical I'm talking, the central vertical. Apart from that, they have delegated, they have been preparing for past 20, 25, 30 years now. They have delegated the authority and responsibility to all the provinces, 31 provinces. And 31 provinces, each province has got a political authority, it has got a clerical authority, it has got the IRGC to coordinate all, it has got the army component, army, navy and air force component. They are following the concept of dispersion of leadership, dispersion of all the infrastructure, the vital, they call it vulnerable areas and points. The defense industries have been actually dispersed all over the country, and the storage capacities also have been dispersed, and they have gone in for extensive use of decoys. This perhaps sooner or later will come out in the media. These decoys have been provided by China, plastic decoys and synthetic decoys, which gives an appearance as if tanks or aircrafts or launchers are mounted or placed on the ground. And this is an indirect way of roping the dope. You exhaust, make America and Israel, make them fire the expensive and costly missiles. One drone manufacturing takes around $20,000. To negate one drone, that is interceptor costs anything between 1.1 to $11 million. One missile, even if you talk about a missile, it costs $4 million, and you cannot negate or neutralize one attacking drone costing 20,000 with one missile. You have to fire minimum 2 to 3 missiles. So that takes the cost back to 12 million. The strategic reserve of Central Command, which is originally located at Florida in USA, they have got a forward base at Qatar. The strategic reserve, like every ammunition, every missile has got a front line, it is called a first line ammunition. Then they have the pouch ammunition, they have got a reserve, they have got a second line, they have got the strategic reserve. The strategic reserve as against 1,500 or 2,000 pieces in case of interceptors, in case of Tomahawk missile, in case of Patriot missile, they have gone down below 600. I am told the latest figure is touching 300 to 400, which is highly dangerous, and it is actually alarming. Because should China go in for Taiwan now, what stance will USA have? Will they have boots on ground? Will they have the aircraft carrier nearby? With this kind of dipping and declining status of the reserve, will they be in a position to give any kind of meaningful and viable kind of a support to Taiwan? I don't think so. Nor will they be able to extend any kind of support to Japan or South Korea. By and by, they still believe and practice the Indo-Pacific. Almost 70 to 75% of the bases, if not 75, at least 50% of American military bases are located in Indo-Pacific. Indo-Pacific is a corridor starting from west coast of America till east coast of Africa. This is the largest world. They have good about 4 billion population here, 40 countries, 60 to 65% of the global GDP is produced here, and they have all the countries which are very, very meaningful and substantive in terms of the critical minerals, semiconductors, everything. So therefore, it's a massive responsibility which USA has to discharge with a lot of maturity and responsibility. At the same time, they cannot ignore the threat which is emerging from Cuba. In Cuba, they have 4,154 islands, close to that. Out of 4,154, almost about 1,500 islands. The Chinese have installed the eavesdropping equipment, meaning whatever military activities or any kind of research and development taking place in America, they get to know. They have the Russian footprint there, they have the Hezbollah, they have IRGC, they have Hamas in Cuba. So that is also a cause of concern and worry for Donald Trump. Which side does he look? Does he pull back, which is not giving benefit and dividends here in Iran and Middle East? I think the time has come. In my opinion, he is going to pull back very soon. He may not change. That would bring the status of the Middle East conflict to some kind of a change. That's it, ma'am.
Please do stay on with me, sir. Now, intensifying rhetoric from the White